Hey everyone, so I'm gonna try something new, maybe just for me. I don't know if anybody's gonna listen, but I'm gonna try to recap every episode. I was inspired by Oh Little Sparrow. I love watching her recaps and how she discusses everything. So I thought I would try to do that in my own spin, because I know that she's a clean flan and I'm a Brittana shipper. I know she ships Brittana too, but Brittana is my one true pairing. So here we go. I was so excited with the whole countdown, seeing the new posters that came out, counting down the days until Glee came out, the new season premiere. So I was like so excited that I was off on a Thursday night because I work night shift, that I could actually watch the premiere live. Um, so like I said, I literally did nothing that day but like sit and count down the hours till it was actually on. I was like dying, and I tried my best to not look at Twitter or Tumblr, knowing that it already aired on the East Coast. I really wanted to see it, as it was, like straight, quote unquote. Um, so I have a lot of feels about it, so I'm gonna try to keep on point and not jump from tangent to tangent. So let me just start with overall. So the first time I've watched the episode now twice. First when it initially aired, and then I watched it the next day, to try to sort out how I felt about it, because I have, like I said, many feels. So overall, I think that the season is very ambitious. Like, I feel like this is one of those things that they could do like a 2 hour block of time every single freaking Thursday night, There's so many characters that I'm just worried. I really honestly wish they just decided to do a spin-off, because I feel like that would be a way easier and more fair to all the other actors. Because I feel like I'm completely biased, obviously. I'm in love with the old cast, and so like as much as I want to care about these new kids that are coming in, and I think they're really interesting, like I'm still gonna give it a couple weeks and see how it goes. Because I mean, this is Glee, and I'm a diehard fan, and I'm probably gonna watch it until the fucking show goes off the air. If me watching ER for like 13 fucking seasons is any indication, watching every single episode, yeah, I'm pretty loyal to a fault. So anyway, that's besides the point. So I feel like it's very ambitious that they're trying to do the split situation or whatever. Right now it's basically New York and then Lima. And then obviously you have supposedly Santana's over in Louisville, Finn's over somewhere doing his army basic training, Mercedes and Puck, I believe, are in LA, and then Mike is in Chicago. So I feel like, they're all fractured, which is what should happen. They graduate from high school. They should all be living out their dreams. Oh, and Quinn is in Connecticut, of course. MIA right now, really, because she's taping a movie in Italy with Robert De Niro. But anyway, Dinah Agron is, but Quinn is supposed to be in Connecticut. So I feel like, it laid the groundwork, we kind of, like, right off the bat, like, they didn't even, right off the bat, it's Rachel's first day in Dance 101 with Cassandra July, and how she, like, tore her to pieces, which I thought, Kate Hudson, I mean, I really can't remember her in anything that I actually really enjoyed since Almost Famous, and I feel like she's only been known for sleeping around, like, with Alex Rodriguez and everybody else. So I actually forgot how good of an actress she actually really is. And I didn't know that she had dancing ability and singing ability. Like, I mean, okay, granted, I feel like her singing ability, it's alright, but her dancing, like, I didn't know that she was a dancer. And then I saw her on Ellen, and she was like, that's how she got her body back after having a baby, and I was shocked to see that she really can dance. Like, that was impressive. I was impressed. Also, I think obviously her character, is turning like to the bitchy alcoholic, and we'll find out next week more about, how she had a meltdown on Broadway, according to Kurt or whatever. So anyway, so I found that it wasn't that awkward for them to be going back and forth between Lima and New York City, between Rachel and her struggles, her first couple of days at school, and then seeing the new kids and the old kids mix it up together in the choir room. But it just felt odd. It felt really odd to look at that choir room, and it looked so empty, and like nobody was there. Like, who was there? When they had that first shot, when Mr. Shu walks in, they had Artie, they had Britt, they had Tina, they had Joe. Right, that's his name, Joe. Is that five? Is that it? Oh shit. Sam and Sugar. Is that everybody who came back? That's seven people, right? So then they added Unique, or whatever that kid's name is, at whatever. So that's 8. So that now we have 8. And then Marley joined them. That's 9. So I hope that they're doing the math right and figure out how many people they need to have to go to sectionals, okay? So then they're supposed to be adding that idiot new kid. I'm not that he's an idiot, but he's been saying how he wants to be the new Finn. So hopefully that's not a sign of bad things to come. But that Blake kid or whatever his new character's name, that's 10. And then Puckerman's brother, Jake, that's 11. So so that's 11 people right now. They still need to add 2 more to make 13. So I wonder where they're gonna get those people. Or is Kitty gonna join? That's 12. And then so they just need one more person if I'm doing the math correctly based on the people who I might be forgetting somebody. My brain is like really half asleep. So anyway, I thought it was cute how they had the theme of the episode was called the new Rachel. So that was a bifold, basically meaning, Rachel's out in New York trying to figure out who she is now, the new Rachel, without Finn there in a new place, without she's used to being the star, as she was in Glee, and here she's used to being like the big fish in a small pond, and now it's opposite. She's supposed to be going to like a Juilliard type school where everybody was a star where they were from. So now she's just like there's nothing as of right now. There's nothing that distinguishes her from everybody else. So so that's that side of the point. And then the other side of the coin, it was like in Lima, in who's going to be the new Rachel to replace, who's going to be the star, the shining star, now that Rachel's gone. So I thought that that was a really cute dichotomy that they did with the title and everything, and they did play it out through the end of the whole episode. So these are the broad strokes that I'm just trying to point at. So I'm sorry if I'm jumping off topic. I'll try to keep myself on point. So like I said, I thought it was very ambitious, and they did lay the groundwork. I'm curious to see how it'll play off now as we continue on to next week's episode, which I will obviously talk about in great detail because it's going to be focused on my girl Brittany and Heather Morris. But anyway, to see how that plays out, because if you keep so obviously I was way too excited the first time around to really pay attention to the credits because I wanted to see who they left in the main credits versus who was a special guest star versus who was just a guest star or recurring status. And then I wanted to see who wrote the episode, who directed it, all those kind of things. Because now, I tend to pay attention to that because then I know what kind of episode it's going to be. So I was too excited to care the first time around. So the second time around, I noticed, number one, that Diana Agron was not in the list of the main characters. She wasn't even there at all. Chris Colfer was the first one because they do it alphabetically. So Chris Colfer, like Kurt was, well, just whatever. I don't, we all know the actors' names and whatever. So basically, the only names who I did not see were, I think was Diana's. Because then I noticed that Court Overstreet. Oh my God, my hair is sticking up. This is horrible. Thank you. Um, Court Overstreet was made into the main cast now, which is great. And then I noticed that the people who were considered guest stars or recurring status are still Vanessa Lengies, oh crap, Alex Newell, the kid who plays Unique, Joe, Samuel Larson, I think that kid's name is. So they're all recurring characters right now. Kitty's, I think her name is Becca Tobin. Um, Melissa Benoist, who plays Marley Rose, and then Jacob Artis, who plays Jake Puckerman. Those are all recurring characters. So the main cast is still pretty much, the main ones from last year, including Cord, who got a contract to be a main star. I mean, on the main cast, I guess. So they still had Santana's name on there. They still had Naya Rivera. They still had the characters they didn't even have in the episode. So, Corey was there, Corey, Mark, Naya. I think even Amber. Was Amber there? I can't remember. I think I saw Amber's name and Mike Shum Jr. So all of them were there except for Diana. I think. I could be wrong. So I just felt like, this cast is like ginormous. Like seriously, if you count the number of people if you just count the graduating class of whoever they threw in last year, plus throwing in Court Overstreet, who's now considered the main cast, and then you add all the people they just added who are recurring, like this cast is insane. Like if you actually just pay attention to the amount of time it takes for the entire credits to roll with all the names, it literally takes the first 15 minutes of the episode. The other notables are that Ryan Murphy wrote this episode, which is interesting. I don't recall who wrote. I think he might have also written the finale. of last of season 3. So that'd be nice continuity. I'm hoping that he takes a more of a role and helps out these writers. Also, I noticed that Matt Hodgson is now a story editor and somebody else is a story editor. So I wonder really what that means. And I didn't really sit because last year they were just called staff writers. Now they're story editors. So whatever distinguishing factor that makes it, I don't really know. And then the other thing to note is that Brad Falchuk directed this episode, which is also very good because he's been in Brittana's corner since the beginning, so that's always great. So, let's see more about the episode. I'm trying to remember the other things that glared out at me the second time I watched it versus the first time before I jump into, the lack of Brittana that was there, which made me super sad. Um, I guess I could talk about the new characters first. Um, so I really, really want to like the character of Marley Rose. I really want to. I feel like the way they laid the story out, she's this girl who's an outsider. Her mom's overweight. She got made fun of in her old school. Her mom is willing to sacrifice dropping her off not let anybody know that she's her daughter because she doesn't want her daughter to be ridiculed again. And so that whole story is sad. The fact that she's a sophomore is ridiculous, but I guess that they learned that they have to say who these kids are right from the beginnings, that we understand how long they're supposed to be in Glee. So, in theoretically speaking, she's supposed to graduate in 3 years. So, if Glee actually makes it to season 7, she should be a senior by then. We'll see if that happens. But anyway, I'm trying to have hope for that. But at the rate they're going right now, who knows? So they already established regarding that she's a sophomore. Okay, so basically, right when Rachel was a sophomore when she auditioned for Glee and got on New Directions. Okay, so that's basically the point. She's supposed to be filling in the role that Rachel had. Okay, which makes me really sad because Tina kept harping on it that Rachel was the one who picked her, and I feel like yes, Tina fucking earns this shit. Like, come on, people. Like, why do they keep? I mean, I thought it was awesome they did the little "Call Me Maybe," which is the song of the summer. And like, yes, it's been overplayed and I'm tired of hearing it, but hearing them sing it is a new, fresh take on it, and I enjoyed it. But like, I'm like, dude, Tina killed it in that song. All the lines she had, like, she could sing. I don't know why they keep doing this to her. Like, I hope, Jenna, oh God, I just hope that I don't know, that you're doing all these other awesome things like writing a book and having a clothing line or something. Because I just think you're getting shortchanged and shafted every time when the show comes around. So apparently Ryan says you have 2 songs in the Britney episode, so that makes me really happy. Because like I said, I'm going to have to jump on somebody's train. I was always on your corner, but since Santana's not going to be in every freaking episode, and my girl Britney will hopefully be, and so now I can add you to the mix because I feel like, dude, you need some support and love from the Asian people or something. Anyway, so Marley is supposed to, fill the Rachel shoes, and like they did the split screen where, you know, Rachel's first big, performance is in the round room in front of Carmen Thibodeau. She's singing New York State of Mind, very appropriate because she just moved to New York supposedly, and then Marley decides to audition with that same song. So basically, they're just opposing them singing at the same time. And I think that it's really hard when you put anybody with with Leah Michelle's vocal ability. It's really difficult. You have to find somebody who could match her, you know, or at least bring something different to it. That's why whenever her and Kurt would do something together, it was different. Whenever her and Naya did something together, Naya's voice is completely different from Leah's. So that's why they worked well together. Whenever you're going powerhouse for powerhouse and you had Amber and Leah together, it's great. So I feel like it's really hard to tease out I think her name is Melissa. Melissa's singing ability on its own. I think we got a chance with Chasing Pavements. I think she did a fine job on a great song, but I still feel like Jenna's voice is just so much stronger. She's earned it. She's been on the show for fucking 3 years. Give her some more songs, for Christ's sake. So, like I said, I really want to like this character and like this actress. So we'll see how it progresses from there. The other new character is Kitty, who comes off playing basically taking over Santana and Quinn's roles as and Becky's, being the head cheerleader now. So she's bitchy and snarky, taking over the role that basically Quinn and Santana had being bitches. Becky was sort of bitchy too, but it was kind of endearing in a way. So she just flat out says things that are just like ridiculous. Like her line to Kurt saying like, "Oh, well, I thought all gay people were overachievers." Like she's doing it for shock value. Obviously, the half the crap that comes out of her mouth is like racist and bigoted, and there's a reason why she says it. So I'm sure I'll find out more about that if they decide to delve into her character. So she's there right now as she is, a one-dimensional bitch. That's fine. Uh, so I guess we'll obviously get to see more of her in the next episode because she's supposed to want to try to take the head cheerleading position away from Brittany, I believe, is what I hear. Uh, so then the other new character, Jake Puckerman, Noah, Puck's half brother he doesn't know about. I thought he sang Never Say Never beautifully. That's a really great song, and his rendition of it was great, actually. So I kind of wish we heard him sing the whole thing. Um, but obviously he's going to be playing the bad boy role now that Puck isn't there, which is fine, whatever, he can do that. And you could already tell there's a little bit of chemistry between him and Marley's character, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out next week. The other new character was Brody Weston, which, I think that he's obviously trying to play the Finn type role since Finn wasn't in this episode. And he's supposed to be trying to be the triangle between Finn, Rachel, and this Brody character. And like, God, he's handsome. Like, I'm a gay woman, but dude, his eyes and I mean, he has a nice body. I mean, believe me, I'm not sexually attracted to him at all, but I could appreciate a fine-looking male specimen as himself. And mind you, this is the third time as people have mentioned that this is another guy singing in the shower. So obviously this is for Ryan Murphy, obviously, because Finn did it, Sam did it, and now this Brody character is doing it. Which, hey, at least he's continuing something, right? So I feel like he's trying to be a friend right now. He's not obviously trying to pick the moves on Rachel. He's actually being, very sweet and genuine. So we'll see where that goes. I didn't think his singing was that great, but he was singing in the shower. I didn't even know what freaking rock song he was singing, but Sister Christian or something ridiculous. So, there's that. So those are my recap on all the new characters. As for the old characters, like I said, to me it was kind of surreal just seeing them all without their other halves, because now these are the mixture of seniors and juniors, I'm assuming. So now, if we're keeping track, the seniors are supposed to be Tina, Artie, Brittany for a second time, and Sam, I believe. I don't think we know Sugar if she's a senior or a junior. I don't really quite know. Joe said he was a sophomore last year, which I thought ridiculous. So he's a junior now. And then Unique, who knows what he is now because he transferred from another school. So they could just make it up like Blaine did and make him seem like he's like a 6-year senior. Whatever. And then Marley, no, I'm talking about the old kids. Okay, so like again, so come May or whenever the end of the season is, that's how many people they're graduating. Then that's the rest of New Directions, the old group, right? So I just think it's going to get that much more complicated. I don't know how these writers, I know that they have to think way in advance, and they're already probably projecting to episode 22 or 23 of the season when we're only at season 1, and they're currently filming, I think, episode 5 or 6 right now. So like they have to project outward. So I just don't know how they can maintain this if like 5 or 6 people are supposed to be graduating, right? So the projected tracks are going to be they're all going to go to New York, right? Because that's where the bulk of the cast is going to end up now. I mean, Kurt ended up there. Santana's supposed to go over there. And I mean, they have all the potential to have a spin-off, having all these main characters over there. So I really hope that's what they decide to do, so that they could focus on the characters that we grow to love, and then they can still keep Glee going. Or honestly, just let Glee end after this season, and just focus on the old cast. Because I feel like, I mean, there was such lightning in a bottle, as they say, was the saying, with that cast. And so I feel like, we care about these actors. We care about these characters, and we care about the actors who play them. So it's really hard for me to divulge my heart to allow someone else new in. Like I'm stubborn like that, I guess. And like I said, I love Brittany, I love Santana, I love Heather, excuse me, and Naya, Quinn, Diana Agron, Rachel, Leah Michelle, Tina. Obviously, I'm more, focused on the girls, but I love the boys too. And I just feel like, we want to know more about them. So when you throw on more people like this, that just means that much less screen time for all the characters we have loved for 3 seasons. And now you're trying to introduce new characters, and to bring them into the fold, and we all have to get used to them. I feel like we're in the choir room, like we have to get used to these new people too. So, anyway, I'm already on minute 20, and I haven't even talked about the big elephant in my room, which is the lack or the devoid of Brittana interaction in that entire episode. I was not prepared for the fact that we wouldn't even see a glimpse of Naya. I thought for sure there'd be something, and literally this is what we got. So they're sitting in the lima bean, and Blaine and Brittany are having coffee together, which I find to be a very interesting friendship if that's what this is going to be now. Um, born of the fact that Brittany's a second year senior and Blaine is now a senior. So maybe the whole hair gel issue brought them closer together, which is pretty amusing. So they're sitting there having coffee, and Blaine just goes, "So how's Santana?" And Brittany basically responds with, "Oh, well, she's busy with cheerleading, and it's hard to keep in touch with her because you can't really Skype over webcam, or you can't scissor over webcam or Skype or whatever." That was the only line mentioned about Santana in the whole episode. Okay, there were instances where you could tell Santana was missed. Like Brittany totally missed her. Like the line when they're all sitting at lunch, and Marley isn't sitting at their lunch table. She's sitting like adjacent to them, and she could hear them making fun of her mom, and they didn't know that was her mom. And then Brittany makes the comment like, well, maybe she something about maybe she has a disease, or she ate a person who has a disease, but she didn't mean it as an insult. It was just Brittany being Brittany, saying something that just matter of factly comes out of her mouth, you know? And so everybody thought it was a joke. Everybody started laughing. And that's, I don't know, it was such a split second look, but Brittany just looked so dejected, like looking to her left and right to see, where was Santana to explain what she meant, and Santana wasn't there. So I feel like we got small moments, thanks to Heather Morris, to show that Brittany really did miss Santana, even though it wasn't expressed vocally. There were moments in the scene when like she would do things and you could tell like she felt lost without Santana, which makes perfect sense as to how the next episode, hope thankfully, will focus on her and dealing with the fact that Santana's not there and the fact that she's a second year senior. All those issues that we've been waiting for them to deal with. Hopefully, they claim that this is all of Chemo is a boss in this episode. Ryan Murphy says she killed it. So, sometimes I do take everything Ryan Murphy says with a grain of salt, and I'm hoping that, everything that he says is true. Which is, being very wary and treading lightly when I say that. So the fact that there was no Brittany and Santana interaction in this episode basically broke my heart, because that's really what I wanted to see after waiting all summer long, just anything. So I relived all that by looking at Tumblr and seeing all the GIFs and videos that people had posted. So that made me feel a bit better. And also knowing that the next week's episode is focused all on Brittany, pretty much, and that for sure Santana and Naya will be in the episode. However, briefly, apparently, according, she's going to be Skyping with her. So, I'm just curious, so excited to see how that plays out. What else do I want to talk about the episode? Um, Song-wise, like I said, Call Me Maybe was a cute way that they did it. New York State of Mind, Leah just killed it. Like, just blew that girl out of the water. I felt bad. I feel like she has a really nice singing voice, but you can't really compare with Leah Michelle. Leah Michelle is like a fucking, like, once in a generation type voice. So, like they said, she could sing this telephone book is the old adage, and I could listen to that all day. So, and Leah Michelle does a great version. Like, it's just fun because it's like, that Rachel that I saw, it makes you remember Rachel when New Directions in the first season of Glee, like that same old like I don't think I'm good enough kind of a thing and whatever, getting torn down again, and that's the point. Like she is back, she's in a place where she feels like she's all out of sorts. This is her dream. She's supposed to be happy in New York. She doesn't understand why she's not. And so when Kurt comes, that was a sweet moment when Kurt says turn around and he's there in the and they run to each other. I think she's supposed to be in Washington Square Park, it looks like. from what I'm guessing. She was definitely at Washington Square Park when Brody took that picture of her because the archways were in the background. So that was pretty cool that they did some location shots in New York versus just all on the lot here in Hollywood at Paramount Pictures. Um. So anyway, uh, other songs they did. Uh, I talked about Marley's audition song. I talked about Jake's audition song. Chasing Pavements. Oh, so that was supposedly the big group number, and then they gave Marley like the main solo singing part. Again, I thought she did a fine job, a wonderful job. However, again, I think Tina would have killed that song again. But let's see how it plays out. Let me not get so angry. Hopefully, they'll give Jenna more opportunities to showcase her voice because it's a gorgeous voice. In the Call Me Maybe song, I thought that it was great. I thought, people make fun of or, belittle Heather all the time for the fact that she doesn't have a singing voice or whatever. I think she sings great. You have to realize that they pick certain songs for her to sing in because they're obviously going to try to play up what her strengths are, right? And I feel part of it too is that when when Heather is singing, she's not singing really as herself. Because if you've seen her videos with Ashley, like her Dear Heather, Dear Ashley, and Snuts and all that stuff when she's goofing around and sings, it's like she sings like when you sing in the car, like you just can sing or you can't sing. And I feel like she probably can sing, but the songs they choose for her to sing are by people who like can't really sing, if that makes sense. Like she sang a Kesha song. Kesha can't fucking sing at all. That's all autotune, right? So then obviously Heather's version will be autotune. Beyonce could sing, but when she did the song, what is it now? Who Run the World Girls? That was more like talking singing, not really singing per se. So, like I said, you can't really uh you have to take into account the songs that she's being given to sing. This Call Me Maybe song, the verse that she sang is very talk singy. It's not very sing songy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I just want to say these instances where Heather is given the opportunity to sing, it's not really that much of a stretch. I think the most we actually heard her sing, quote unquote, was Whitney Houston Dance with Somebody, and that was her voice, and no one can sound like Whitney, so she's gonna sound like herself. And I'm sure they auto-tuned it just like they do all the other kids, but that's what the point. They're gonna make it sound as best as they can. Not everybody was born a natural singer like Amber and Leah, and I'm sure that they probably get auto-tuned too. So stop haters. That's all I have to say. I think she did a great job. She was super cute with her actions. Oh, this is it. The one that Nia tweeted about. Darren Chris's version of what is it called? It's Time by Imagine Dragons. I had never heard the song. I don't even know what the original one sounds like, but the whole concept of the cups and everything is amazing. I think whenever Blaine or Darren does a cover of a song, or when he sings, he puts his own spin on it. I'm assuming because he did that for all the other songs he's done for Pink and Train and all that other stuff. Destiny's Child. It just sounds so different, especially I don't know. There's something about his voice, and I thought the message of the song, the way that they perform it, that was my favorite performance of the song. As much as Chasing Pavements is a great Adele song, I thought that performance was the best one of the episode. So, this is ridiculously long. I'm just rambling now. And I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this except for me. Ha. So I'm going to talk about next week's episode, hopefully. So, I'm going to talk about some spoilers I've heard about. I'm trying really hard not to pay attention to the spoilers because I want to be able to be excited, like, just watching it as it is. But everybody knows it's the Britney episode 2.0. The premise is that Britney's sad because Santana's not there, because she's a senior again, because that kitty chick wants to be the head cheerleader, lead cheerleader, and wants to take it away from Brittany. She's just sad all around. So the point of this episode, apparently, is that Will and Emma see that she's sad, and they try to think of a way to make her, like, cheer her up, and they figured, let's sing Brittany to Brittany again. So they do more of her Brittany songs, you know, and I guess Heather sings on two of them, and then Jenna sings on two of them, and then Cord and Kevin have a duet, It looks really crazy because I've seen the song set list. I can't I mean Heather Just Give Me More and I forgot whatever. The big glaring one that I can remember is everybody on Tumblr was going crazy when they found out that Britney Spears' song Every Time is gonna be playing when supposedly Britney is crying into a pillow over Santana. The kicker is that she's not the one singing the song. Marley's the one singing the song. So people are kind of in an uproar, but I'm kind of taking the wait and see approach because, you know, I'm sure it's going to be one of those Marley singing every time, and they're going to have a bunch of characters cut in and out. So, and I didn't even recall this Britney song, so I had to go on YouTube and find it. And then I heard it, and I was like, oh shit, that's a fucking sad song. So, we'll see what happens. Apparently, this is a really big spoiler, so don't listen to this if you don't want to know. So, apparently, Britney is supposedly upset because she's waiting to Skype with Santana, and Santana's not there. She's not there for their set times to Skype. So that makes her really upset. So she starts to cry. So yeah, I really can't wait because I've been waiting. I feel like they completely ignored Britney for most of the tail end of last season, minus the prom episode. This is my point. They have too many fucking characters that they can't even develop stories for. When you have a cast of like 30 fucking people, how could you develop storylines for any of them? Okay, I'm gonna stop. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say. I hope all of you continue to watch Glee, support it like I do, and throw things at the TV and yell at it when stupid shit happens, and cry and laugh and do all the other things that you love when Glee comes on. So this is me. I'm signing off. If you want, you can follow me on Tumblr. I post like crazy shit of Brittana and HeYa on there. So I don't know even know what you call it. My username is Zashikabuda06. So I'll leave the information at the end of this. And also, I do write some Brittana and HeYa fanfiction, so you can also find me on fanfiction.net under the same name, not the one I'm using now. Alright, peace out, homies. I will see y'all next week with my recap of Britney 2.0. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.